I'm now going to bring in Ross Mountney. So, Ross, before I bring in, let me share your slide, just showing a little bit about you. So, Ross is a name that many home educators, particularly those who've been around for a few years, will be familiar with. Ross has written a few books. She's the one that's been the most popular, I think, has been A Funny Kind of Education, is the one she says has had a lot of impact. And then she's also written Learning Without School. And then she has her home education notebook, which is something a little different again. But I'm going to bring her in, and what you'll see. So Ross had her very first Zoom meeting with me ever, her very first Zoom, just about a week or so ago, and she's now an old pro at it. So
My opening line is going to be basically, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And if I haven't to do anything different, because some two people have just put a message on here to say how nice to meet me, and I have no idea how to reply. So thank you. And it's nice to meet you too.
That's lovely, Ross. And I'm sorry that we are running a bit late. So
It
we
doesn't
will
matter.
keep it fairly short and sweet today. So what I would like really is just for you to talk. So you were what did they call us the other day? It's the OGs,
Oh God, yes. That
the
sounds too
original.
much like
What did she what?
OAGs to me.
Yes,
OAG.
it
Yeah,
was
it was
the
OG.
it was the original
Generation.
generation, yeah, of home educators. Basically, that's what you're saying, and it's interesting to hear it labeled. Um, but Ross, just tell us a little bit about your own experience of home education, and yeah, basically, I think people would love to hear a little bit more from you in the flesh for a change.
Well, thank you. I hope so. I mean, I have been accused in the past of making it look all rosy. And of course, it's a bit like childbirth. You look back and you forget the pain and you just think, got this lovely baby. And there, obviously, it was up and down, but it was just a lovely, inspirational thing for us to do. We never once regretted it. The children did go into school because I just thought, what do I know? I can't be right that this is actually not good for children, some of this. But I did work in school, so I did see children, and I saw an awful lot where I thought, this isn't working for them. So I suppose I got a bit of confidence from that, but I also realised that I couldn't. Maybe I wasn't right, and we should give it a try. If they liked it, all well and good, and if they didn't, but it wasn't that they didn't like it. I just saw them completely diminish, really, from being switched on kids who love to learn things to kids who'd had the smile wiped off their faces, constantly ill, illnesses that disappeared with it when they were out on holidays. And so we were kind of got to the point where we've got to do something about this. And it was really because their needs weren't met. And I saw that firsthand in schools. The children's needs weren't met, really. How could you? The classes were overflowing. So we kind of thought, we've got to do something. Our youngest declared at the ripe old age of 5 that she hated learning. And I was heartbroken. So we, decided that they should come out. We asked them, would you like to learn at home instead of going to school? And we proceeded from then on in. We never made the decision to do it forever. It was suck it and see at the time and make another decision if it needs be, but we never did. And it stayed like that till they were in their teens, and we were beginning to say, well, we know you're educated and we know you're intelligent, but we've got to persuade other people. And also their interests were moving towards things that were, that were narrowing down so that they could choose something to study, and went into college to do that, got BTECs, and then went on from there to uni, which actually was quite an eye-opener for them. And one of the things they said to us was, why are these kids at university when they don't seem to want to learn? Which I thought was really eye-opening. University wasn't great for them. They didn't stay that long, did a couple of years and went on to other things. They are now in their 30s and have been constantly employed and busy and productive, despite one commentator, I think it was, I had an article in the Times once, one commentator telling me that I was just creating unintelligent, uneducated no-hopers, really. How
Yeah,
people,
well, what a relief. Phew, they were okay.
absolutely. And we haven't got two heads.
Yeah, no tails,
No,
horns.
normal.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, well, I don't want to insult them by
No.
saying that,
Yep.
really.
What is normal anyway?
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, and you wrote your books, and a lot of people have been very inspired by those. We had some comments on the YouTube saying that she was really looking forward to hearing from you,
Oh,
because she loved your books. So I was told that I shared the wrong slide earlier. I didn't share the slide about you. I shared the slide, the back of what's going on in YouTube. Isn't that interesting? So you all learn something new. Um, I'm just a little distracted, I think, with everything going on.
I'm
But
sure.
yeah, but your books, there weren't a lot of books about home education out at that time, really, were they? Not in the
No.
UK, not UK written.
No, that's right, and that's why I wanted to do it. Really, once I'd experienced it, been in it a while, and I wanted to put something out there that was a help. But which the first one was aimed at being more of a textbook. But then I thought, well, parents don't want to read a textbook about education. They want to know what it's really like, what it feels like. So that was the inspiration for a funny kind of education, so that they knew that. But also, it was also me being sneaky, because I wanted to share ideas about parents who are really stuck, as the gentleman before was just talking about, in an institutional way of thinking about education. And I want to try and lift the lid off that a bit, really, so that maybe people could think in other ways about it. For example, I think parents are actually conditioned, bribed actually, to think that GCSEs, if your kid hasn't got GCSEs, they're going to fail miserably in life from thereafter.
And then they fail their GCSEs, and then they go and do something stupid because they believe their life is over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's myths like that that I really wanted to
Mm,
dispel, and to
yeah.
show parents that there were other ways of doing it,
Yes.
and that children learn anyway, despite what we do. And they become so strong, as the gentleman was just saying, they learn independence as well by having their own learning at home and having a choice about it at home. They become independent. And it doesn't have to be done the way that the government would like us to believe it has to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. And the government obviously has an interest in making it look like it's a terrible hard job, and we're not really equipped to do it. Because the secret
Mm.
is a caring parent can do this. You don't
Absolutely.
need qualifications.
You don't need any at all. And I mean, we started before the internet was really a thing. It's going to make me seem really old. When I said that to my daughter this morning, I said, "Oh, thanks, Mum. You're going to tell them how old I am." I said, "Well, not necessarily, but yeah, with that, with all you can get at all knowledge, can't you? So you have a ready-made tool at your disposal. We didn't
Yeah.
have that when we started." But it's I'm sure it's made an enormous difference now, because people can get at the knowledge, and they can join up like we have today and prove that there are other ways of doing it. And GCSEs aren't a golden gate to life in the future.
Well,
In fact,
that's
I
yeah.
think I wouldn't call someone with masses of qualifications after their name educated. Not if
No.
they do things like chuck, drink cans out of their window as they go down the road in their car, or they have no care for the planet, for
Yeah.
example.
There's more to life than book knowledge.
There's more to education.
Yeah.
And if it's not involved with caring, I don't believe a lot of the children in school feel cared for in
Yeah.
the way they would, in that they matter, that their opinions matter in the way they would in a home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot to do with that.
Yes. We prioritized character quite
Mm.
significantly.
Yeah,
because you can catch up learning anytime, but you can't fix
absolutely.
character when
No,
it's once it's sort of like set.
yeah.
Um,
Or
yeah,
once it's suppressed, or once it's been sullied by what the school has taught them they are, like no good, useless. I can't do that. I can't read. I can't write. You don't have to read at 5. In fact,
no,
the problem with schooling and learning in a school setting is that it puts kids off learning. I saw it
yes,
happen. I
yeah,
was working in schools. I saw it happen. Um,
yeah,
my youngest didn't read a book till she was 13. I mean, had a lot of time. I was gritting my teeth, thinking, "Leave her alone. She will." And the point is, the children, as they grow, they want to be part of the adult world, and in order to do that, they're going to need to learn certain things. They're certainly going to want to have to learn in order to earn money, so they're going to do it. They're going to want to join in all that, aren't they? You don't have to force them.
yes, exactly.
Mm,
And I think the thing is, the world has so much more to offer, and actually being in a classroom limits. I
absolutely.
think it limits your exposure to the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. And
it's
let's face it, how can you learn about the world shut in a classroom that is
yeah,
in no way indicative of what the world is like?
yeah, yeah. And you have an occasional little visit outdoors. Yeah. Um, can you maybe just share one or two moments that were for you when you started out, like, aha, you know?
Yeah, I think probably, I mean, I felt that they could learn without everything that went on in school, but I kind of took a while before I really believed in myself. But I remember thinking, my God, everything is learning. Everything that we do has the potential for learning. And it was because my youngest, for what would she be, 6 or 7, sat on the toilet going through the toilet door. And then she says, Mum, how does the we get in there? So you get all these questions. You're doing biology at 9 o'clock at night when actually you want to go
Yeah,
to bed because you're knackered. So it's moments like that that I think were just so eye opening, and
yeah.
I
Learning's not confined to between 9 and 3 every day.
absolutely, or a book.
Yeah,
Again, my second being dyslexic, which I'd seen in school and I'd seen the terrible mess children were getting into. And I really had to back off reading so that she would come to it. But I also, thought that she would come to it. But how can she learn without me having print involved? So, and of course, this is where the internet and image comes into its own, because you can YouTube. I mean,
yes,
who needs
exactly.
to do workbooks when there's YouTube?
Yeah, we used to have YouTube at breakfast to find out how pearls were made how they were formed, because
That's right.
I decided I realized very soon that they can explain it far better than I can.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah. And my daughter saying, "Oh, look at that one around the wall. That's a painted lady." And I'm thinking, "I don't think it is." I said, "I think it's a tortoiseshell." She said, "No, it's a painted lady." Anyway, I looked it up when I got back. So I was real me, spiteful, really. She was right.
I had a moment like that, and we don't have much time. We need to bring Hannah in a minute, but I had a moment where I did a lot with the children when I first started out. We did all sorts about history. We did puppet shows. We dressed up. We made the food. We did all of the things. And when my daughter was old, I said to her, "Well, don't you remember when we learned about the Sumerians and we did this and we did that and we did?" She's like, "No." And then another time, she came out with some random fact about Cleopatra. And I thought, I don't remember us ever talking about that. And I said to her, "Where did you get that?" She said, "Oh, no, I read it in Horrible Histories."
That's it.
And the thing is that, that was an aha moment for me, realizing that it's really not about you. Who am I doing it for?
Mm,
Am I doing it to so I feel better? So I don't feel
mm,
guilty. So I can tick the box and say I'm doing, is it any better than school? No, even if it's dressed up all nicely
mm.
and doing fun things. We
Yeah,
made great, so now I just say we made great memories. We had fun times together.
yeah.
But,
And
with,
they're still speaking.
yeah. And the children, if the children learned, they
Yeah,
learned because they wanted to learn and they were
yeah,
engaged with it. It was very little to do with me.
yeah,
But
yeah. And I wonder
yeah,
how much of what goes on in school with parents pushing kids to get the GCSEs, the A levels, the high grades, etc., is to do with the parents. It's not to do with what's right for the child.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just who are you doing it for? It's like those cute shiny toys you get for babies
Mm,
and the cute, clothing and all the brightly packaged things.
yeah,
It's marketed at the parent. It's not marketed at the baby.
yeah.
So,
I'm not dissing those things. They're
yeah,
useful tools, aren't they, to
yeah,
show employers, look, I've done this, so
yeah,
can I have a job, please? I'm not dissing them, but I'm
yeah.
I'm just questioning the manner and the reason they're
Yes,
done.
and I think we always should ask that question: is who is it for?
Yeah,
Who's
because
benefiting from it?
one of our home educated peers, he went to apply for Cambridge, and when he went to this interview, and they're all there having a chat, and the professor who's doing a little introductory chat said, right, how many people here are doing 10 GCSEs? And of course, nearly all of them put their hand up. And his response was, well, why? You only need 5 to get in
Mm,
here. You could be doing other things that are much more worthwhile.
exactly. It's all just, yeah. It's all a bit back to front, isn't it? But it is as you said, it's a funny kind of education. So
Yeah,
um anyway, but thank you so much, Ross, for joining us. Please feel free to stick around and listen to some of the other speakers.
thank
It's
you.
been just lovely to have you present with us today,
Thank
and
you.
quite a rare treat, I think. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the kind compliments.
Oh, you're welcome.